Well, hey there. It's Terry Sawchuk. It's Friday today, so we're going to do a 4-minute Friday. But I wanted to take just a couple extra minutes and take a look at the markets here and just give you my short-term thoughts. Not that I have a crystal ball, but in looking at the S&P 500 here, what I see on this chart is that we kind of hit a high point here, right around 59.20, dipped a little bit. You can see that there's a drop in the momentum in terms of this particular skinny indicator here. It just shows that the relative strength is dropping a little bit, but the green momentum flows are still okay. So the way I see this is that next week is kind of an important earnings week, and so I wouldn't be surprised at all if the market's pushed a little higher. You've got a bunch of big companies, Meta, which is Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, and so these tend to be market leaders. Now, the whole market expects the earnings to be really good, and they probably will. So we run the risk of earnings being good but not great, and then setting the stage for kind of a run up towards the end of the week. The big ones come after hours, Wednesday and Thursday, and so I could see the markets push a bit higher into next week, and then from there I could see a short-term dip as we kind of make our way through the election. It's hard to know, how quickly the election is going to be resolved and who the winner is right now. I think, judging from what we've seen more recently, it looks like Trump is leading in the polls and leading in Polymarket, which is a place where you can actually bet on the outcome of the election. One French trader just bet $28 million that Trump would win, so it's a pretty sizable bet. I don't know that I would have put that much money on anybody to win at this point. I think it's difficult to say for sure. So with that being said, I think we've got a little bit of like a gap in the flows over the next couple weeks, but quite frankly, once we clear the election hurdle and have a winner one way or the other, the flows look to be more positive through the year end. And so barring any really unusual things happening, we still tend to be a little more bullish on the equity markets for now. Although again, we could see a bit of a pullback, towards the end of next week into the following week as we head into the election. So we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, it's Michigan State week. So you know where I stand on this. I'm a big Michigan fan, although I feel the same way going into this football game as I do going into the election, meaning I'm not really sure who's likely to win right now because it could go either way. On the side note, we also probably want to think about taxes as we head into the end of the year. We're going to be processing RMDs and making sure that we get if we haven't processed them already, that we get the calculations done and get them processed before the end of the year. We can also think about some strategies like Roth IRA conversions and just big picture stuff as we head into the end of the year. 2024 has been so far a very good year for the stock market. And unless something really crazy happens, I think it's quite likely that we will see the end of the year with a pretty positive number, and then we'll see what happens into 2025. So going to be a short one. It's not quite 4-minute Friday, but wanted to get an update on the markets, talk about a little bit of short-term volatility, but ultimately, probably going to push a little higher through the end of the year. So thanks for listening this week. We'll see you next week, and we'll be back on Thursday for 3-Minute Thursday.